everybody. Today we wanted to go over some preseason testing theories, predictions, just kind of go over who we think is going to do good with teams, drivers, any other thoughts we have, because preseason testing is this week. So we're getting very excited. We've been desperate for some F1 content, so we're finally getting it. And it's going to be before Australian Grand Prix, which is only in 17 days, might I add.
Time to get excited.
Get excited, guys.
I'm so excited.
I'm scared.
We're terrified. We're actually
survived. We survived off season, guys.
We survived off season
last season, so maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah, we survived last season, so we should be fine. But I don't know. We survived off season, 2024 season. We should be fine for 2025. Maybe. We're gonna find out. So we'll bring you along that journey too, of course. But just in case you guys don't really know the gist of the testing, so it's in Bahrain, which is one of the races. But they go to Bahrain and they really just test all the cars, the new cars for the season. So all the drivers will get in. Most of them have already gone in the cars like at least once, but some for the first time. So they'll just kind of drive around, get a little feel for the car, but the lap times don't really, for disclaimer, they don't really matter too much. So if you see like your least favorite driver in the top spot, don't freak out. Or if you see your favorite driver in a bottom spot, do not freak out. This is more just, it's kind of like a FP1, like a free practice. They're just going to be kind of testing the boundaries, testing the limits of the car. The engineers will get data. So it's just kind of, we just kind of get to see some crumbs of the cars. It's nothing serious. So, but we did want to give our little predictions to see what teams and stuff will be fastest. So who wants to start?
I'll throw in my wild card of Williams.
Me too.
I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that Carlos brought some like magic to that team, and they're just magically going to be wonderful. And I refuse to listen to anybody else tell me otherwise. I am convinced.
I'm so there with you. As much as like I have a love-hate relationship, not a hate, a minor dislike of James Bond occasionally. That man could probably convince me of anything. He's such an English major, and like anything he says, I'm like, no, you're so right. Like you ate with that.
So
I feel like he'd just be telling me these things about Williams, and I'm like, go ahead and pick them up.
Williams, I love so much though. Like you're the best
You're
team.
Right. You're so right.
Then during the F175 event where he was walking out just by himself, he was like, "Hello, William," like "Hello, London," and he was announcing, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, "Where are the drivers?
Hello, dude.
Where did you put them? Where are they hiding?"
It was so funny. I was like, "Wow, so you actually are like my favorite person right now."
He
I'm
ate.
still kind of holding a grudge for the Logan Sargent thing,
Yeah,
but
me too.
I'm getting past it, and I honestly
we move on. But we don't forget.
The more days that go by, I understand him. So I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? And now he has Carlos and Alex on the same team, two of my favorite drivers. So I will be rooting for them no matter what. If I'm rooting for P18 or P2, P1.
I'm feeling it. I feel it in my soul. I feel it.
I feel it in my bones.
That new title sponsor, that new livery looking fresh.
It's a good title sponsor. So at last year, and that sounds so like cool.
It sounds bougie.
It sounds fast. So I'm
it sounds fast.
They're doing good this year. I don't care. I just have such a good feeling.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're gonna be P1. Trust.
P1 constructors
Austrian
and
Greek GP, Sainz, Alex.
Yep.
The rest doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What other teams that you guys had as like your top three?
I had McLaren P1, but Ferrari a close second.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the vibe I was going for.
Yeah, I had McLaren P1 and Mercedes P2.
That's a good one. Okay.
That's my little wild card again. I threw it in there.
I literally did like mine's very dependable. I just did McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari. I don't really have an order though. I don't know because like I don't even know anything about anything. I know McLaren's gonna be fast. Of course they're gonna be fast. I'm a little bit terrified for Red Bull. I'm not really sure what's going on because the RB20 kind of is sickening. It makes me nauseous. And so maybe hopefully they got a little RB19 sprinkled in there. You know, maybe they got a little RB19 sprinkled in there. But if not,
I'm
they
just
won't
gonna
be top
hope.
three.
I'm gonna hope Adrian prepped that car a few years in ahead, and it's gonna cook for you,
I'm
Gabby.
hoping he left behind some
Put
notes.
some work in.
He left
I'm
him
gonna
a
hope-
binder, and he's like,
I'm gonna hope he didn't take it with him on the way out.
It's like,
Oh
here, you guys,
my
figure this
God.
thing out. Figure this out.
He took his Red Bull binder and was like, "Here, Aston, take it."
That little like red notebook that he has with him everywhere he goes. I know he has this little red notebook. He writes everything in it. I'm like, what if they still have that? Definitely
What
not.
if he brought it over to Aston and
They gave
Aston
a
just
few
shows
pages-
up
they
like
gave a few pages to
extremely
Red Bull.
fast?
Or just
Aston's like a freaking rocket ship, and we're like, "Excuse me."
It's that red notebook. It's that red notebook.
And he's
It's
standing
that
over there
notebook.
like
It is.
reading out of it.
He's standing over there
Like
showing everybody the
glows
notebook.
just
and he's
as
like,
I
guys.
planned.
No, he's gonna open it up. It's gonna like start like glowing from within. It's like,
He starts like floating around with it. He's like, yes. Just as I planned.
he's like floating around the car, like, yes.
Looking beautiful, my dear.
I'm just picturing Adrian Newey standing there holding a notebook with just like light coming out,
It's like blinding everybody else. He's like,
and he's just locked in. Like,
My notes,
Oh
my
my God.
notes.
we're getting way too far with this scenario.
I'm
like
sorry.
everybody else, stay away from that car. Let Adrian Newey and his notebook work their magic. Okay.
Yeah, let it sit there, please. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Hope y'all enjoyed that.
Yeah, I hope I like that.
Yeah, no, I do think that Ferrari, I think they're gonna do very good this year. I'm just like, you guys really need to practice your strategies and keep that consistent, because consistency is not a word that they know very well. So, you know what? If they have consistency in the vocabulary this year, they're gonna cook and they're gonna be good during testing, I think.
I hope so.
But I don't know how Lewis is gonna do compared to Charles. I'm kind of upset because
I'm
definitely
interested
curious
because
about
in
that.
my head, I see Lewis like absolutely smoking Charles. But that's just like the way that my brain is like calibrated right now for some
I don't
reason.
know. I genuinely
And
like,
I don't know. I'm like
I think they'll be
scared.
really close.
I think
But
they'll
I'm
be
also
close.
curious to see like how Lewis adjusts to the car. Because it's like a
Oh,
completely
I'm
different car.
nervous.
he's driven it once so far.
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
so scared.
It's like, is this testing gonna be him just like warming up, or is he gonna be like cooking like vroom,
Well, he
vroom,
drove it once
Yeah.
and he crashed it. So
Is this a world championship incoming?
World
Uh-oh.
Championship incoming. He's crashed every single time before, almost every time before, with McLaren and Mercedes. So
World
Hey.
Championship
Uh-oh.
on the freaking way.
it's coming. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's just weird because it's like, well, Charles has been there for so long. He knows the car. It's a different car, but well, okay, actually, it's completely different. They said it was like 90% different.
Yeah, I read
Yeah.
that in the ESPN article. Like the technical director was talking.
That's terrifying, and that
I
makes
know.
me nervous. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So I don't know. They seemed happy about it. Like they all seemed pretty happy about the car. So I think they're gonna do good this year. I think it's gonna go in a positive way. So
I'm
I
keeping
will
my fingers crossed.
Me too.
I'm rooting for
hoping-
Ferrari for sure.
I have my my team that I think is gonna do terribly, and I hate it.
Oh.
I'm very convinced that Alpine's gonna suck. I don't know why. I
Are
know
they
that they're
taking out a
keeping-
Mercedes engine now, or is that next year?
No, they're not. They're taking it next year.
Okay.
And
never
they're
mind.
keeping their 2024 chassis the same. So they're not changing anything on the exterior of that car. It's all
Okay.
interior work.
Okay.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, but if everybody else is changing the outside of these cars, how terrible is your car going to be?
Why would they do that?
They're
I'm
doing it
curious.
to save money for 2026 because 2026, when they get all of these new regulations and things,
Okay, yeah.
and they're going to want to change the car completely, like,
I agree
They're-
though. 'Cause-
broke
That's
team,
not
like,
valid.
they need that.
well, because they have like Jack Doohan, who's
I
probably
know.
under so much stress right now.
Oh.
And then if they end up, because they're gonna have bad, and then if Jack Doohan ends up being bad, so they have already had some bad races, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's put Franco in. You're already switching up like your teammates. That's like so
Yeah.
stressful. That's gonna not help at all. But then
No.
maybe Franco could do good, but still, like all of that movement,
I don't
didn't
even
bide well
know.
for-
I
didn't
just
bide well for them either.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I feel like they did so well at the end of 2024, and I was really wanting it to carry over. And then I started reading about how they're not changing their car, like the chassis, and they're just changing like engine stuff. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, maybe
Oh,
if
no.
it did well at the end of the season last year, they're like, oh, maybe we'll just like
Yeah, my
keep
only
what we
worry
already
is
have
that
cooking
everybody
and
else
just
is changing so much of their chassis. Like,
Mhm.
so many people, like, if you look at the side by sides of like McLaren's 2024 to their 2025,
Yeah.
it's the outside of the car is so different. Like, they
Mhm.
change so many things. And I'm like, they're changing it for a reason. Like, they're not just doing this for fun.
Maybe Alpine knows something we don't, but again,
True.
Maybe
Alpine,
they're ahead of the game,
but
but
again,
they
though,
stress me out.
Alpine has not made the best decisions in the past few years. So if I had to choose between McLaren and Alpine as like more dependable, I think we all know what we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
choose.
Yeah,
So
I think where I'm gonna head, but it's
I know
okay.
I'm gonna head, and it's
Fine.
not Alpine. So
I want them to do well. I
of
just
course,
don't think they will.
yep,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll
That's
see.
valid.
I'm
What do you
worried.
guys think? What do you guys think about drivers? Like, what are your like? If we had top 3 like for drivers for
Oh my god, I want Ollie Behrman to come out of those gates running. I want him to absolutely hit that track, P1, baby. It won't happen, but I'm praying to
Hey,
God.
it
we're
will.
rooting for
It will.
Get him out there and get him in P1 right now.
It's gonna
Haas,
happen.
give that boy a car. Like, give him a car.
I hope
Haas is
it's like Ollie, Jack, and then who else?
Kimmy.
I want Kimmy to
Kimmy.
do really well.
And then
Yes,
Isaac.
like I just want Kimmy to do so
Oh, we're doing
well.
rookies again.
I just want to protect Kimmy with my like entire being. Like I'm like he's so cute and small,
Live,
and I
laugh,
just
love,
like
Kimmy.
Get away from George. Get away from George. Go away.
I'm
Go
like,
away.
get away! Don't touch him.
Like,
Leave him alone.
go away.
Leave him alone.
I'm
Just
so
let him
scared
drive in
for
circles
you
and
guys.
be happy.
I'm so scared. I would love to see him. For some reason, I feel like him and Nico Hulkenberg would be such a interesting
Oh
duo.
my god, yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know why. Like
I feel like Nico's a good rookie teammate because he's not like super aggressive.
Mhm.
So he's not gonna be like pushing him around like George or Max will, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be very like mentor-ish.
hmm
But I think Bortoletto has came out of there like with the best teammate.
True.
Ooh. I think Nico and
I forgot
Gabriel.
about him. Dang.
I don't really know like how I don't know how like funny they are together. I haven't seen like any really content of them. The only
No,
content
I
I've
haven't
seen
either.
was little bucket hats I saw on Sauber's Instagram page. I'm gonna
Those
so
pictures haunt me. Like,
I'm
Purchase on the
But I
way.
do think, stand by my words right now. I think Gabriel and Nico are gonna like cook this year.
I
I think
hope.
they're gonna do really good because first of all, Gabriel is like he's a really good driver. He obviously won F2 last year. He did it for
Literally.
no reason. I think he's a really good driver,
Like,
and
come on.
I think he could help Sauber a
Mhm.
lot. And also,
Yeah.
Nico, I trust Nico did so good in Haas last year. That was like one of his best seasons in my opinion.
Mhm.
And I hope he does good. And I hope that they stay when it's Audi, and I hope they do good. But I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but I think they'll bring Sauber up higher than Joe and Valtteri, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I'm praying. I really want Nico to do good things. Like,
Yeah.
I was so happy with how his season last year went. I felt like it was such a good season for him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't want this season at Sauber to like go terribly. It'll make me so sad.
Nico will get a podium this year, trust.
Yes.
I freaking love Nico.
We won't get too much into predictions though, guys, because
No.
just so you guys know,
Sure.
next week's episode, we're gonna talk about our season's predictions. So
Oh,
stay
so
Oh,
it's
those
gonna go
predictions are going to
crazy.
be completely different because I got a lot
Hold
to
up.
fuck in. I can't
So
give my
different.
crazy takes then. I have to keep it real.
It's gonna be a whole episode. This is just a little preview. This is a little preview to the preseason testing. This is just what we think is gonna happen quickly. But don't even worry. We'll get into the deep dish.
We'll get into
stuff
the
next
deep
week.
details.
This is just the appetizer.
This
is
will
the
really dive in
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I'm ready to give all of my very strong opinions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I do want to.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go.
I had my drivers as I don't know the order of this. I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of wrote down people I was thinking, but I had Max, Charles, Lando, and maybe Lewis.
I had the same one.
No way.
That's
I literally
crazy.
put down Max, Lando, Charles, maybe Lewis.
Are you kidding?
I'm not
Bro,
kidding.
I literally have it as
That's
maybe
crazy.
Lewis, question mark.
I didn't put maybe Lewis down, but it's in my head as maybe Lewis or
Oh my
Lewis very
gosh.
close. That's crazy.
That's
I also
crazy.
Daring
I
the
also
brain
think
cell.
Oscar will obviously be there. I think
Yeah.
Lando and Oscar are going to be like this
The
close.
same. Yeah.
This close. So
I had Lando, Liam, and Lewis.
Oh yes. The big three, it seems.
I'm
L.
convinced.
Whoa.
I'm convinced that Liam's gonna come out of those gates running.
Me too.
I refuse to take any Liam hate. I think that man is going to lock in that Red Bull.
I hope so.
And I'm here for it.
What's
I'm ready.
very wrong. I'm
It's the
hoping
new haircut.
yeah. No, the Jensen Button haircut's giving him
Oh
like
my god, it's the new haircut. It's
He
making
said-
him so much faster.
He said it's time to put the look on. It's time to look the part.
it's time
Oh,
to
yeah.
not be a V carb driver, but a Red Bull driver. He had the
Oh,
whole new
yeah.
haircut. It's a Red Bull look, not a
Oh,
V carb
yeah.
look. I do like I hope he kind of like has like similar reactions to Max in this. I'm like maybe take a lesson out of Max's little mental notebook that he has. Max gets a lot of hate and then he goes and absolutely destroys everybody. So
Mhm.
you're getting so much hate right now. Why don't you just do the same thing? And
Why don't you just go out there and prove everybody wrong?
please
Yeah.
be up there. I want to be like Max and Liam. Like I want Liam to kind of like compete like with Max. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna get that close to Max, but I think he can. I think Liam's gonna do really good. I don't know how hot of a take that can be. I just think that Liam's gonna do good this season, and I don't think he's gonna be very controversial. I will say this. I think maybe later on when he's more confident, but I think this season he's just trying to establish himself. But I think he'll do very consistently, specifically in testing. I think he'll impress people and prove people wrong. I'm hoping that's gonna happen, and I'm predicting it. So.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I really want Liam to do well.
Yeah.
I also think Yuki may be a surprise person.
I think he's gonna have some feel in him.
I think he's got like something to prove, and I feel like I don't know, that could either crash or that could absolutely
First person to
soar
crash
away.
in testing, Yuki.
That could fly away, but like it,
Yeah.
also, it could be good.
She's
it
like,
could be
he's gonna do
bad.
well. I'm like, no, in a wall.
He's gonna crash actually. Like I think
No,
I
I
think
want him to do well. I
Yeah.
just fear he's gonna be like a little
I don't know
fiery
how
ball
well,
of anger as he always is.
I don't know how well he can still handle his anger. And I will stand by this. I think that's why Red Bull didn't choose him.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's probably some other underlying reasons, but in my opinion, I just think it's because of how he reacted to simple like things this season. The Daniel thing, like he almost crashed into Daniel after the race because the team gave him directions. It wasn't Daniel, like that's not like he didn't say to do that. So I just think that he can't handle that very well, and I'm like, you and Max would absolutely like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why. I feel like that's a hot take because like why does everybody else think that they'd be like all dandy? Because they're not going to choose somebody that's going to go up against Max like that. Why would they do that?
I feel like
we
it'd be
don't-
hard to pick anyone against Max.
No,
Like,
yeah.
They'd
Mhm.
have to be
I
like
imagine picking a teammate for Max is like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, because it's like you want Carlos because Carlos is a great driver, but you don't want Carlos because Carlos is going to go against Max. Because why would Carlos stand by and let Max go by? So it's just like it's such a. I was thinking about this. It's like, well, who
I
would
think
be
that's why Checo was so good as a teammate. Even if he didn't perform
so good
like he should have, he respected Max in the way that they wanted.
in the beginning
I
years?
think Checo
right.
and Max were great teammates when Checo was coming in consistently, like P2, P3.
Yeah.
I think
2024,
when like that
right.
era was
Yeah.
happening and Checo was up with him but not challenging him
Yeah.
was like perfection for Red Bull. The moment Checo started falling and lost Red Bull the constructors, because we're being for real, they lost constructors in 2024 because of Checo.
Yeah.
There's nobody else to blame for that. Max performed to the very best of his abilities. Checo underperformed. So I feel like that was kind of what Red Bull needed to be like, okay, we like appreciate that he's not challenging Max, but we're losing championships because of him.
Oh, yeah, Max won the 2023 one by himself, but that's not going to happen again when you have McLaren and Ferrari and Mercedes coming in so hot. Like you can't. That's not how it works. And this season, it's not going to get any better. It's not like Red Bull's. Well, I'm not going to say this, but like it's a very tiny chance that Red Bull's going to come and dominate like 2023. So they need somebody who can keep up, and I think Liam's great for that. Checo, if they had Checo in 2021, he was perfect. He literally helped. He was instrumental in Max's world championship.
Yeah.
if he just like fell, it was just like his confidence just went down. And whoever knows why that reason was, maybe it was the team. It's just the curse of being Max's teammate, apparently. But I think that Liam can be a little bit more resilient. I know the thing is though, he did treat some drivers pretty badly, like the last when he was in the V carb last season. But I want a little controversy. I don't care. Like I don't like. Yeah, he's gonna attack some drivers, but we haven't had that for a while. So you know what? Maybe it's needed.
So
maybe
be it. Let it
so
happen.
be it. Maybe we need some aggressive, mean drivers that you guys don't like.
I mean, that like I feel like plenty of other drivers have done the same thing. What about K-Mag? Like I love K-Mag.
We glorified K-Mag getting literally an insane amount of penalty points in a season. Like he literally got a race ban because of it. I think. Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
We were glorifying that, but when it goes towards a specific driver, then we get all mad. I'm like,
just
chill.
watch
Like
the race.
y'all were so excited when K-Mag got that race ban because that meant he was gonna come back swinging.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now that you've got somebody that might come at Max, you're like, oh my God, we don't need drama.
Like guys, because like when he went over Checo and Fernando, there's a whole lot of like people are like, oh, well, he's just going after all the drivers. Like, why would he do that? And I'm like, I just don't think that's really what it is. I
just think that they were there.
I think Liam
just think they were in his way.
Yeah. I think Liam would honestly does not care who it is. I think he's just gonna do that anyways. Yep. But let's just say he doesn't have the energy with Max, because otherwise we're gonna have some issues. That's gonna be scary. But anyways, I also kind of like this is a different driver, but I think that Kimi is going to do good. I think Kimi is going to be a lot more comfortable. First, I don't know, like I think that he'll be more comfortable in the preseason testing than he was in whatever like the FP1s, because he crashed for his car. But I think that he'll definitely have prepared, because he's been preparing a lot. I've seen, like, of course, like the rookies are preparing a lot. Yeah. I just think that he's going to do it a lot better in the testing, like lap time wise and just confidence wise. Like I think it'll be a visible difference. So
100%. I genuinely think that he is so talented. Oh yeah. And I think that he's going to do so well. Now, I think it's going to take a few seasons. Like, he's so young. Mm-hmm. He's coming in like Max Verstappen type young, like just being thrown in. And he's like, he also barely went through like the junior formulas. Like, he did Formula 4 and then was dragged right up to Formula 2 and didn't do well because Prema had a terrible car, besides the point. And now he's just being thrown into F1. And it's like, this kid is like way less prepared than all of the other rookies. I think it'll take him a few years, but I think he'll absolutely slay.
I was hoping I'm ready. Didn't pull him up too soon.
That's my worry. I think he might have a crashy season.
I really don't want it to be like Logan, where I don't think it will be, but like I have PTSD of that, because like obviously Logan was a talented driver, and like I think he really just got pulled up too soon, and then like it scares me. I'm like, please no.
I think that just Kimi has a lot of potential, and I feel like I say this a lot. I just think that he will kind of have he'll be more comfortable, but I'm not saying he's going to do like fantastic and be by George's level. I'm just saying he'll be more comfortable. But I do think that it will take him a couple of seasons, because again, if I'm just going to compare to Max, because that's like the only really I can think of right now, at least that's like that was that young getting into F1, and they have similar journeys to F1. Yeah. And Max, he did crash a little bit. Like, he was a little crashy. Max is a little bit more angry and a little bit more aggressive, I feel like, than Kimi will be. I think Kimi's more of like just kind of more of an Oscar.
I feel like he's pretty level-headed for his age.
He's very level-headed.
He really is.
From what I've seen.
Honestly, I don't think he'll be like oh my gosh, he's crashing every other race. He's just pushing the car to the limits. But I think he'll kind of ease into it. He'll definitely have a few little oopsie daisies, because I mean, that's what's going to happen. But I think that Mercedes is prepared for that. So we'll see.
I think Mercedes got scared by the Max thing. Like, Max got pulled up by Red Bull so early, and it was the best decision that they made. Like, and Mercedes missed out on that.
Yeah, they're so close.
Mercedes saw that and was like, well, shit, we've got this kid that's clearly talented. Let's get him out of there so nobody else can grab him before we do. I think they're just scared, and I think that might cause his first season to be kind of rocky.
Yeah. I hope that they do kind of give him grace They're like,
I
oh
think
well,
they will because
we're
they
just like
know
we're
how talented he is.
they're like no, like we picked you because you have potential. We know you're young.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they'll have that mindset where it's not gonna be like, oh, couple like races, you crash, you're out. Bye. I just think
Yeah.
that they won't do that. So that's good.
I think they pulled him up knowing it was a long-term thing and not like a short-term fix for now.
Because that's probably why they. I mean, because I've always like wondered like why did they pull him up to Mercedes as his first team, like one of the top like 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah.
And that kind of interests me, and I wonder if it's because they think it's gonna be a long-term thing, or they're like, I'm hoping it's not the case of, well, if you don't do good in this car, like then you're done. If you don't do good in this car,
I think it's because they want it to be a long-term commitment. They're looking for somebody that can be their next Lewis Hamilton. Like they're looking for somebody that'll be long-term committed to that team and want to win everything with that team.
Like
and it's best to get that from a rookie.
Agreed.
So I think they're prepared to have like a shit season Kimi-wise.
They're prepared. So hopefully they get surprised by that. Hopefully get like pleasantly surprised. He'll do good.
I hope so. I really want him to.
Oh yeah. There's not like any driver like genuinely like that. I'm just like, oh, like I hope you guys don't do that good. I'm like I
want everyone to do good.
I just have the mindset like I'm just like I'm rooting for every single driver, which is kind of obviously hard to do, but like I like this grid a lot. I'm really excited for this grid. So I'm excited.
I really like this grid. I like having all of the rookies. I think it makes it makes testing and things a lot more exciting. Like last year, it's like we know all of you, we know your skill set, like, and we know the cars. Like the cars did not change very much, and so we're like, well, hey,
imagine next year, 2026.
2026 is going to be absolutely insane, and I'm nowhere near ready.
Me either.
I need another year besides this year to process it. So
literally, I'm gonna need like 2 years, and then you can bring 2026.
I'm still processing last year.
I'm still processing that 2025 is about to start.
I haven't even processed that it's the new year yet, so
can't handle it.
I still process Abu Dhabi 2024, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do now, but
I don't think that my brain has fully understood that McLaren just won like a constructors championship. Like I just don't think my brain has fully like grasped it.
It's crazy.
What do you mean Danny Rick's not on the grid? Like you're lying.
Why would you say that? Why would you do that?
Why would you bring this up now?
We don't need to have this whole depressing thing. This could be a happy thing.
Are we being for real?
My bad.
No need.
Just regard.
I think my biggest shock is when I see Lewis Hamilton in red, and I'm like, this isn't real. Like
actually, like on because we've seen him in red, but it's like specifically when we see him, like during like practices and stuff, like qualifying, you see him get out of the car in the garage. He's like talking to his engineers. He's in red. Or imagine an interview.
Or his
name.
Can't. His name.
I genuinely
on the list.
Can't.
Like the.
I cannot. Picturing it genuinely makes my head hurt. Like picturing all of the changes, I'm like,
it's like an anxiety stomachache.
I feel like I'm gonna be so confused for like so long.
I'm gonna be
lineup. I'm gonna be like, oh, who is that?
Like, who the fuck? Like what?
I literally only started watching in 2023, so genuinely, this is the very first time I've ever.
This is an absolute like. My brain will never wrap around the fact that Lewis doesn't drive for Mercedes anymore.
I've never seen the grid change because I'm not like.
Oh, that's true.
I've never seen the grid change because my first race was Monaco 2023, so it hasn't been that long, mind you. So I'm still getting over the fact like I literally my first season was just Max winning every single race at Singapore. So that is like that is I wish that wasn't my first season because that was like I get spoiled. I was like, whoa. So now we have all these.
You're like, pause. This doesn't happen every time.
This isn't normal, by the way. This isn't normal. 2024 is here to remind you about that. But it was seeing all the rookies is gonna be so exciting. Because I've never seen a rookie like drive. So
I'm so hyped. Oh my god.
So but yeah, the testing will be really fun.
Get them on that track right now. I need it. But also don't.
The testing is literally gonna be like in the middle of the night for us. Because I looked up for Eastern time. It's 2 a.m. to 11 a.m. First of all, why is it that long? I don't know it was that long.
Why is it that long?
I looked it up on like it was on Forbes or something like this article. Crazy. It was like, oh,
I went to testing in like 2022 in Barcelona, and it's honestly like a really fun event because there's like no one there, and you just get like free range of the track. Like you can go wherever you want. Like all the grandstands are open, So you
So
can
next
go
year we're
stand
going.
wherever you want.
Next year we're going.
Catch
Oh,
pass.
me and my dad are going next year. We already have plans because it's
So-
2026 testing,
So
so it's way
include us as
longer.
You wanna add us into that?
No, please,
How do we go?
because like
Send it.
it's
Send the info. I'll book the
it's
ticket
way
right now.
cheaper. It's not that expensive to go. You just have to buy.
It happened to me. That's happening to you. What?
I just saw it do that to you, Gabby.
You just have to buy flights to Bahrain, which are not cheap, but we move.
Hey, you send a flight you want, I'll book it right now.
Literally.
No.
But like
Patrick's going to
testing
Bahrain.
tickets are so
Let's
cheap,
be
and you
sad.
get it for like 2 days, because they're doing 5 days of 2026 testing. 2 are going to be open to the public, 3 aren't, and so like you get tickets for the 2 days. I don't remember how much they are, but they weren't expensive for Barcelona. And then like you can add on like garage tours and stuff. It's like it's crazy. It's a completely different experience.
Add to cart.
I know. And when I was talking to my dad about it, because I really wanted to go this year, he was like, let's just go in 2026 when it's like completely new regulation cars.
Oh, yeah.
Because imagine how cool that would be.
I need to send your dad a letter and be like, hey, I love Katie. We besties. I'd love to
No,
go
come
on,
on, you guys. Like, let's go.
So Katie and me have known each other a long time now. You know, we're the best friends, and
we're like this.
this. So I honestly think that we should go because it'd be great.
I think I should
It's
be
such a great opportunity. We
Has the
can
paddock, goes to Bahrain for
interviews, photography. For me, please. I'll be
It's so
frothing at the
good.
mouth.
It's so fun. And you like get to walk around the pits for like you don't have to pay for it. Like you just get to walk through the pits. And they have like cars and like the garages are open. It was so cool. I'm not kidding. And this was before I was into F1 and I thought it was the coolest shit ever.
So imagine how we're gonna feel.
I know, and I'm like, imagine going back now that I like do like F1. I'm like, that would be a shocking experience. Like,
oh my gosh, we have to.
Also, I'm excited. Cool. I'm like, I have to be there for 2026 because it's gonna be so cool.
We have to go. So basically, you will see us at the Bahrain 2026 pre-season testing. So if you guys want to go, we'll probably be there. But don't sell all the tickets because we need tickets. So let's be mindful. Don't get too excited. You know, don't
be
get
kind.
Be kind.
Wait to buy your tickets until you see us post that we have our tickets.
Yes.
And then you can get them.
Perfect.
And then we can hang out.
And then you can come see us. Like, come see us.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna be best friends. It's gonna be great. But anyways, I think that's all we have for today. Next weekend, again, we're gonna go into the actual nitty-gritty about the whole season. Our predictions. It's gonna be
like a 2-hour episode.
It's gonna be like a 4-hour episode. Be excited. We're actually not gonna make it 4 hours. Don't worry. We're gonna make it not that long because I know attention spans are short these days, so we won't do that. But we probably will be cutting out like 90% of it because we could talk about this for actual hours.
We tend to go on and on and on about things.
We tend to do this a lot.
Oops.
So, oopsies. We're gonna be mindful about it, and because we have a lot to say. So you guys should go catch the next episode when it comes out next Wednesday. So we will see you then. But anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll